Okay, they'll trickle in. Go ahead, Brenda. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so yesterday I was like, I fucked up with the credit card situation. My husband reminded me that we had Square that we used to use for the food truck, and we stopped using it because a couple of people complained that we never gave them the service or anything like that, and we had to reimburse them and everything, and so it was like a whole big deal. So because I didn't want to go through it again, I decided not to take credit cards anymore and just go through Venmo and cash or check.
Okay.
So just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, that's fine. And Square is a payment processor, just like QuickBooks is, and all the rest of them. Sometimes a lot of the processors like Square will integrate with QuickBooks, but it can also mean for your business, you can choose not to take credit cards. That's fine.
What I'm hearing though, she stopped using Square to exclusively use Venmo. Is that correct? Am I understanding?
That's correct. Yes, because I didn't want to deal with any other people telling me you never gave me the service, give me my money back. No, you paid.
Okay.
You're done. Yeah. Because my husband is the one who does my accounting, so sure, do whatever you say.
So she is using Venmo, Deb. Her point being to that one tip that you gave about not using Venmo and Zelle and all of that, but to use the actual payment processor such as QuickBooks, Square, Stripe, etc.
Yeah.
So if you have QuickBooks and you use QuickBooks as to analyze your numbers and keep everything in your business, your financial records straight, I'm suggesting that you only use QuickBooks as the payment processor.
Okay.
Not to use Zelle, not to use PayPal, not to use Square, not to use any of those other ones. Keep it streamlined. It streamlines it more. That's what I'm suggesting. Now, some people do not mind and they choose QuickBooks and then one other. If that's what you want to do, completely up to you. It's just been, as you grow, having various ways that people pay you will become a nightmare to keep up with. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Just want to clarify that yesterday. That's all.
Okay. I am. Okay. Gonna kind of scroll through, see who else we've got. Brandon here. Hi, Brandon.
Now. I'm ready.
Brandon, thank you for letting me give you a hard time yesterday.
It's okay. You can give me all the hard time you want as long as I find my clients. That would be great.
No, Brenda, I meant Brandon. I gave Brandon a hard time yesterday.
I would expect nothing less than that, Deb.
Okay, great. I'm glad.
Pass it on to Don for me, okay?
I will. I'll pat his butt as he walks by. So.
Thank you. You know me too well.
Okay, what time is it? We're going to wait just a couple of minutes while people are coming in. I do want to open up the floor I know that Brenda mentioned that she had a question based upon credit card processors that we were talking about yesterday. Does anybody have any questions based upon what we were talking about yesterday that we need to go over, that you need to ask a question on, anything like that before we start this call? If you do, just unmute yourself and ask it, please. I don't think anybody has unmuted, so I think we're good. Okay. Kimberly, Sue, looking at everybody. Okay. We will go ahead and get started to keep everybody on schedule today. Go ahead. Okay. Just to make sure that everybody is aware, this is, you should have already been sent your worksheets. Again, if you have not been sent them, or you cannot find them because I know that they were sent to you, then you guys can just pull up your phone while this screen is up, while this particular slide is up, open up your camera, your QR reader, whatever it is that you have, and download the worksheets that way. I'll give you guys just a few minutes to do that in case you need it. Oh, Heather, that's funny. It shows my picture under your name. I just now saw that. Okay. Everybody got this? You ready?
Came in as you, Deb. I logged in as you, sorry.
That's okay. I'm like, why is my picture there? Okay, what we're going to do today is we are going to cover the remaining holes that I talk about in business that I often find whenever I work with business owners. And then there's kind of a bonus one as well. So sit tight to the end. And then also toward the end, of course, we're going to answer any questions about any of the slides today, any questions that you have in business at all. And I always say that kind of open-ended, but we've had people come in and ask about, you know, everything from where do I find more clients to, you know, how do I hire more staff? So if there is something that is a struggle or frustration in business, just ask it, because everybody is going to learn from your question. And then toward the end, we are going to also tell you what is going to happen tomorrow, because there's more content for you guys to learn from as well. So let's go ahead and go into the next slide. Just kind of continuing our conversation about the common money pits. Staffing cost is one of those things that, again, I'm going to tell you, some of you may say, I never ever want staff, and that's fine. I hope that I can change your mind about that at some point, because the thing about it is you can't grow without them. If your goal is to grow your business and complete your vision, the thing about it is you need people to help you do that. And I also know that some of you right now are kind of thinking to yourself, I've heard about all the staffing nightmares, and I don't know if I ever want to have staff. I don't know if I ever want to hire. Some of you guys are even thinking, I don't know how, I don't want to. But guys, I'm here to tell you, there are still good people out there for you to hire. And we've got ways that can absolutely happen. So please don't turn your brain off on this particular slide, and listen to everything that we have to say on this. And if you can mute yourself, guys, especially if you're just coming on, that would help a lot. If not, Emily, could you mute everybody? Okay. Staffing and food costs, like I said before, are the two most significant holes that will take any culinary business. If you pay attention to nothing else in your numbers, these are the two numbers, your food cost. Again, we talked about yesterday, even if you think that you don't have food cost, you have food cost, because it will tell you so much more than just what you pay for food. We talked about yesterday how that you can raise prices based upon that. It will help you hire based upon that. It will help you find out if you're losing money based on knowing your food costs. Staffing costs are the same way. You really can't ignore, as a business owner, either one of these, even if you get reimbursed for your groceries and that's the type of business model that you have. Staffing costs are essentially everything you pay employees and contractors and helpers and temporary people, including employee taxes. So everything that goes out in the way of payment to a staff member of any sort, regardless of their legal setup, goes into your staffing cost. Your standard for staffing cost, usually in any food industry, is around 30%. I'm going to go into how you get staffing costs here in just a little bit, but you want it to equal about 30%. Often in customized services, so think personal chef services that are really customized. Not necessarily for catering, not necessarily for cooking classes, not necessarily for bakers, sometimes really not for food trucks, but anything that's customized that takes more time to produce a product, then what's going to happen is your staffing costs might be closer than about 40%. So when I work with my culinary business owners on the coaching side of what I do, one of the things that we always look at, one of the many things we look at in their numbers, is their staffing costs. Now, if your staffing cost is high, more than that, the 30% leading to almost 40%. I try to make sure that staffing costs for a customized service is never over 40%. Average should be about 35%. I always try to look at it first and foremost to see, one, is there something that we can do to streamline each of the staff members' job roles? Remember how we talked about yesterday that there's often job duty overlap? Somebody made the chicken twice, somebody went to the grocery store twice, somebody thought somebody else was doing something, so something didn't get done. And so there's time wasted, or there's money wasted, or there's food wasted. There's all kinds of different things that can happen here. Plus, you would be surprised if you really look at making sure that every single person that you hire is very clear on their job descriptions that are written out so that there's no overlap. That will often save a lot of money in staffing cost. The other thing that happens is we also have a tendency, and it kind of is fascinating whenever you think about this, of too many cooks in the kitchen. Sometimes if you can, and I'm not saying to fire people, it's not what I'm saying. I just want you to kind of think through a little different way. Sometimes if somebody wants $5 or more, even of what you're comfortable paying them, and that person can take the place of 1.5 to 2 people in the kitchen. If you've ever been around staff, you understand exactly what I mean. It actually saves you money to pay somebody more if they're going to be more productive. So they make more money, your staffing costs come down. So sometimes it might just be something as simple as everybody is clear on job duties, roles, and responsibilities. It could be that you might have people in the wrong positions. Maybe they're a better fit for one place as opposed to the other. And then sometimes we just have to flat out take a look at, are you paying people too much? And I'm not saying that it's necessarily easy to say, I'm paying you really too much, so I'm going to cut you by $2 an hour. You can't exactly do that either. But you also have to know exactly what your food cost is so you can, your staffing cost, so that you can analyze all these different areas. So maybe you have to rearrange staff, make things clear. Maybe what happens is, just based upon industry standards right now in any food business, that you may have to pay your staff a little bit more, and then therefore we have to cut in other areas or raise prices. You're not ever going to know that unless you know your staffing cost. Again, what happens with staffing cost, your staffing percentage, all the money you pay out for employees of any kind, you take that number and then you divide it by your total sales. When you get that percentage, you want to take a look at that. And it should be 30% is perfect, certainly no more than 40%. Your goal should be around 35%. And what you really want to do is you want to look at it over time, because what happens a lot of times, if you look at it as 1 month, it might be 42% for some odd reason, and then the money just didn't show up to the following month. But you really want to look at it over time. Could be 6 months, could be look at it for, over a year. I look at mine monthly, and then I also look at it year over year just to see what's happening. This is also a way to know that if your staffing costs are really low, that you can actually afford to add people as well. So, like I said, it's really important so you know when to give raises, add employees, raise your prices. But the beauty of it is this might be an area that you can actually give yourself a raise, and you never would have known it if you hadn't run staffing cost. The thing that a lot of people talk to me about when they hear staffing costs too, is they automatically get scared and they start backpedaling. There's a concept that I always teach called hiring forward. The money may not be there yet to hire that ideal employee that came your way, or that you searched for, or you're not even sure that you should start searching for them. But what happens is it is not the chicken or the egg scenario. So many times I hear from business owners, well, if I don't have the money yet and I need to grow, what am I supposed to pay them with? Well, but the thing is you can't have it the other way around. You can't wait till you get the money, because if you do that, you're not ever going to grow, because you didn't have a staff member that allowed you to step out of the kitchen to make more money to pay them. Is making sense? At least shake your head yes or shake your head no. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay. So there's this concept of hiring forward that so many business owners just don't get. It's funny, when I interviewed this CPA, the first thing I said to her is, what's your concept on hiring before you have the money? She said, that's the only way you're going to grow. It does hurt. If you feel like you don't have the money, it does hurt for about 90 days. But the thing about it is you have to have a solid plan in order to then allow you to step back out of the kitchen and bring in that money, so that what happens is in 90 days or less, you're filled back up, you're paying them well, and probably what's going to happen in about 6 months is you need yet another employee. It is the only way, is whenever you hire forward, that you can grow in business. Hiring a new person has to allow you to bring in more clients. It will allow you to take more off your plate. It will really and truly help you grow your bottom line. Employees are an investment in your company, just like investing in a marketing team, just like investing in a kitchen, investing in a business coach, investing in anything in your business. Employees are an investment that will help you grow your company. When this happens, as your company grows and you hired somebody, you made the decision to hire somebody, you bring in more business. What happens is it really helps to increase your bottom line, so that that ratio really stays where it needs to be, and you end up making more money. You guys good on this? Make sense? Yes? Okay. If you have questions, make sure you put them in the chat, and I'll make sure and get to those first at the end whenever I'm done. Okay. Delivery cost and travel time. Has anybody realized that gas is stupid expensive? Yep. I know that we've got some people from Canada, we've got people all over the United States. I think no matter where you are, gas is pretty freaking expensive. And Heather, wherever you found this picture is perfect. So I saw this and I thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't have. It's just awesome.
I'm feeling that
So-
pain right now.
I know. So many times this kind of goes back to business owners will say, I really want to upset my client by nickel and diming them to death. And we honestly used to, I have a commercial kitchen, I have a storefront. I used to think, you know what, if they're less than 10 miles from the kitchen, it's okay, there's no delivery. If I have to walk, if my staff has to open my door to take food, it's an automatically $10 delivery charge. Well, now it's 15 for anything up to 10 miles. Now 10 to 20 miles is now $30. 20 to 30 miles, you guys keep doing the math. We just add an extra $15 for every 10 miles. It used to be 10 and now it's 15. You still have to think about the auto expenses as a whole. Even though, you know, even if you're small and maybe you deliver to 4 or 5 people a week, or drive to a client's home, or deliver your toffee or your jams and jellies, or you go somewhere to do a cooking class. The thing about it is still your time. It is still wear and tear on your car. We have 2 company vehicles. It is still wear and tear on those company vehicles, insurance, liability, all those other things. You must start accounting for any type of delivery or travel time. Even for catering now, whenever we go outside of our doors to cater, we charge a delivery if we're dropping off, or a travel fee if we're going to somebody's home or an event or whatever to cater for them. We have now started charging a fee. It's up to you what you want to charge, But now now if it's any type of catering, and I've got several people going to the same place, we usually start our travel fees at about $25. And that is less than 10 miles from the kitchen. This is for catering. This is not a regular personal chef service. Even if you don't have employees delivering and you are the owner doing the event, the serving, the client, the traveling, that's still your gas, wear and tear on your car, and your time. It is one way that you absolutely will lose money in your business. We have it as a separate line item. We are very upfront about it because we tell them upfront. We have never had anybody had any problems with it because they get in their car and they drive as well. They understand. A lot of, and something that's not on here that I forgot to mention is tolls. If you live in an area to get to a client and you had to go through a toll or two, you have to think about that. I saw a toll the other day. My husband and I were going somewhere. It was about 4:30 and the toll was $6.18. But if I travel that road at midnight, it's $2. Yes, I know. So you have to remember, and I know that some of you are sitting there thinking, well, I'm still kind of small. That $6 won't matter. Well, the thing about it is when I have 3 delivery drivers, I have 2 vehicles. The thing about it is if we're delivering to 45 different families a week, we'll just call it $5. I'm not going to do the math. You guys can do the math. And we go through 10 tolls a day at $60 times 5. Look how much money I lost. I just lost $300 times 4, $1,200 in tolls because I didn't bother to recoup it. So think about your delivery, your travel costs, your drop-off fees, all of those things every time you get into a car. Okay, next is supply cost. So this is also where I see that a lot of business owners don't recoup it. It doesn't matter to me what kind of business you have, personal chef, cooking class instructor, whatever. The things that you bring in to do business, Ziploc bags, foil, the plastic wrap, the deli cups, the little souffle dressing cups, all of that stuff really starts to add up. And again, as your business gets bigger, you guys will start to miss out on this money. We figured out that if you're a personal chef, you have just 5 clients a week, that totaling these incidentals or supply cost will give you back almost $500 a month. $500 a month. These things will add up fast. I know that not long ago, containers for all containers across the board really increased. In Savor, we use a BPA-free plastic container that is ovenable and microwavable. Well, the container itself didn't increase at one point, but the delivery to get them to us increased, which meant the containers increased, and we didn't pass that along. And I got to looking at the difference. I'm like, what are we missing? We went back through those invoices and I'm like, well, the delivery to us almost doubled. And we didn't charge our clients more for that. What we do personally at Savor is once we get their grocery costs done, which we talked about grocery costs yesterday, we add an additional $25 in. It was $22, but now it is $25 for containers and then extra cost, the Ziploc bags, the foil, the deli cups, the extra things. We do give our clients a choice of Pyrex. However, that is a separate fee that they see one time on their bill. And it's usually a $250 fee because we buy them 2 sets. And then we also charge a $10 cleaning Pyrex fee every single service if they choose to use Pyrex. Because it takes my staff time to clean Pyrex that they said was already clean. And we all know it is never clean. And I also don't chase down lids either. But all of this stuff takes time. It takes a lot of time. So I just want you to really go back and look at this money hole in your business and find out, are you being reimbursed for all of these things? I see some wheels turning. You guys good on this one? Yes. With all these things that I'm telling you guys, the thing about it is so many times you have to stand up for your business and just say you're going to charge it. So many times you say, well, I don't want to nickel and dime them. I don't want to risk losing the client. But after a while, you have to make the amount of money you deserve. And I guarantee you, when was the last time that you paid for something and thought, oh, they didn't nickel and dime me to death? I'm pretty sure the last time you paid for something pretty significant, it was broken down and you just accepted it. I know some of you guys have to charge tax on what you do. That's another line item. There's just a fact of doing business that you just have to do. It's nothing to have to do with disrespect or nickel or diming people to death. Last but not least, this is the number one thing that I see. Now, I want to be really, really clear about this slide. One of the things I hope you never do, and you're probably going to do it now because I told you don't ever do it. If you were to ever add up all the hours you work as a business owner and get your hourly rate based upon the amount of sales and the money that you actually make, you'd make about $2.32 an hour. Can you tell I've done that? Kind of sucks. I am not saying that you will ever be reimbursed for absolutely all the hours spent in your business working with the client. Not possible. It's just not. That's just the way that it is. However, there are a lot of money leaks that I see that many of you never charge for. Never. In fact, here's a big one. I don't, and nor does any member of my team, ever go to a client's home to do a food questionnaire. Ever. It's done on the phone, it's done via Zoom, whatever. Most of the time it's a 15 or 20-minute phone call and boom, they're set up. If I have to go into someone's home because maybe they're older, maybe they're ill, whatever it is, it's a corporate executive and the admin said that they have to meet me, it's a $250 charge, period. They don't get it back. It's not added on to their next, it's not removed from their next invoice. It is my time and my expertise to go and meet with them. If you have a client that needs a PIA charge, does anybody not know what that is? If you don't know what it is, please put it in the chat. I will explain it later. But if you have a client and you've been at this long enough that you see coming, that is just a royal pain, you need to know right then and there, extra time is going to be taken. And that needs to be figured into their pricing. If you're booking a catering and all of a sudden they want to see a menu ahead of time and they want to do a tasting and they want to do all of this stuff before they book with you, the answer is no, not at all. I give them a ballpark. I tell them, here's a few sample things I would do for you. I will get you a completely customized menu once you pay 50% of this invoice. If it's 30 days or less to their event, you owe it all to me. But I will not lift a finger until that invoice is paid. Okay. For some of you guys that are willing to run to 2 to 3 grocery stores, either stop it or make sure that you pay for it. Make sure they are paying you to do that. Is this resonating with you guys? Okay. Because one of these days you'll also do the math, and we figured out with the size of our business that we actually do not break even with a client until their 3rd service. All the operating costs that we have in business, all the telephone calls, emails, planning, grocery store trips, all of that stuff goes into your client. So you better bet we're doing everything possible to not screw up and to keep that client past their third service. Because if I lose a client up to their third service, I just lost money. So you guys have to keep that in mind. The service that you provide and you're being paid for is not really for that service. It is for the knowledge up to the point that you gained. It is for loss of business because now your staff took on that particular client and cannot do any other service at that time. So they better pay you well for it. And it's also your time as a business owner to be sucked back into your kitchen and have to work in your business instead of on it. After a while, you're going to get to a certain level of business that you're going to understand that every time you have to step foot inside your business and chop an onion, your business stops growing. And that you have to get yourself out of the kitchen as much as possible. That is if you want that. Some of you guys, perfectly fine, want to be the only one in your kitchen ever, and that is perfectly fine. Everybody has their own definition of success. But all of these slides still apply to you the same way. Let me make sure that I covered all my points. Okay. This is all the stuff that we were going to cover for the day. I'm about to open the floor for questions and then discuss any content that you guys have had, questions you've had over the content over the past couple of days. And then tomorrow, what we're going to do is talk about kind of ways to put this into practice, as well as really the most important day tomorrow is what do you do about it? What do you do about plugging and filling in all these money pits? So if you don't show up tomorrow, you're going to miss some very valuable information. You have to show up live tomorrow. The other thing tomorrow too is I'm going to kind of do a hot seat. So what that means is whoever's here tomorrow, I'll kind of choose one of you. And we are going to take a look at, I'm going to kind of pull apart your business a little bit while I have you in the hot seat. And we'll see if we can find these money holes for you and then how much money we can actually get back for you tomorrow. So it's super important that anybody that will actually show up with their numbers tomorrow, profit and loss statement, spreadsheet, whatever you have, I have to be able to kind of compare some numbers with it. So I'm going to ask that all of you show up because it'll be very valuable to have it. But then if you do show up, then we'll kind of do some hot seat work tomorrow as well. So you can kind of see this live as well. So let me stop share. What?
We've got our, I had to scroll way far up to see our first question. So I figured I could help walk you through that since it's pretty far up the chat. So Brenda asked how to have staff if you don't have an event every weekend or every day.
Okay. Hey guys, I figured out how to move my screen over and I can see you guys on the big screen. You have Laura, I have had no IT issues today. I just want you to know. Laura's like my biggest cheerleader because I always screw this up so bad. So, okay. How do you have employees if you don't have consistent business? Was that the question? Yeah. Okay. So, who asked that question? Just so I know. Oh, Brenda. Okay. Brenda, if you'll go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes.
What's your business right now? What do you do?
I do small parties in people's homes. And sometimes they want a server, sometimes they want a bartender, and I don't know how and where to find those people if I don't have that much of a business to have them work with me for.
Okay. Do you also have chefs and people that help you actually produce the food, or is this just you
Just
don't?
me,
So
myself,
you're looking
and I.
more, you're looking for more servers than bartenders, just to kind of have in your hip pocket?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Gwen. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You want to answer this question for her? Because I know that you find servers and bartenders often. Do you want to answer this question?
Gosh, we do. And we're really blessed that they kind of come to us because we have a really unusual business in our area that no one else does it. We offer cooking classes, but we really, I don't know if this is going to help you, but we often start in-house. So when we have people who are fabulous on our team, we say, who do you know? Who do they know? And then that's the way that we kind of start. And it seems to work out really well for us.
So Gwen has
If you
a
don't have people
fabulous-
in-house,
Go ahead.
I was just
So,
going to say, if you don't
yeah,
have people in-house, then maybe go to places that you like, that have great service. And if you have a regular, person that serves you or waits on you, maybe say, hey, I've got this awesome business and we're looking for people, not trying to poach you. But if have friends in the industry and everyone does, maybe they would be looking for work.
Yeah,
So
that's why I
Gwen is
do
being
it.
Gwen is being very modest. Gwen owns a cooking school called No Time to Cook. That is a brick and mortar, and it has been on family land forever. And she also does events and she does catering, and she did have a food truck, and she's got a great boat that sits out there that they do parties and events on, and she has wine dinners, and it's in Solomon's. So you will have to check out No Time to Cook. It is beautiful. In answer to your question, this is where any social media following that you have, even if it's small, will come in handy. And what you do is you gather a list of people to go through. I'm having an event. These 5 people are on my list as bartenders, and you, of course, you've already vetted them. You've talked to them about your company. You find out their availability, all of those things. And you kind of keep a running list of people that you've interviewed or talked to. Finding out on social is actually a great place to start. Somebody just put something in the chat that was helpful, but it went away. Let me see if I can see it. Jacob said, have a staffing network with other businesses, especially if people have slow seasons. So Jacob, that's a really great idea. You can network with other business owners too, kind of like what Gwen said. And somebody may be slow, and you can say, do you have a bartender that, may be off, or this is your slow season, or wait staff. We also have a relationship with an event staffing company, so that if we really get in a pinch, then yes, they're expensive, but I just pass that on to the client because I know ahead of time. And so I always know they're going to show up very professionally. So those are a couple of options. Okay.
Deb, kind of along with that same line, Brandon asked, is there a template for staffing descriptions for different positions?
Yes, there is. So inside of our coaching program, Brandon, as well as our membership, there is a whole area. It's under something that's called topics. And inside there is job descriptions for just about everybody you would need. We do, and people download them and then put their own brand on it, or their hours, or their pay, or, whatever they're looking for. So you can just copy and paste. Some of those are in there actually that have been written by my marketing team. And so they actually convert pretty well. So yeah, we do have all those. Who are you looking for specifically, Brandon?
It'll be everybody.
Okay, so I started to say, if there was one in particular, I mean, I'm happy to share that with you. But when you start looking for everybody, there's a process that we might need to go through to make
like
sure
I said,
that.
like I said, November, January, whenever you open up, we'll talk. I'm just moving into a commercial. I've just moved into a commercial kitchen, opening up meal delivery as well as my personal chefing.
So coaching, one-on-one coaching with me is open all year. Our membership offering is open twice a year, and we're about to open our membership offering. So you guys will actually hear about that. But So that
I
you guys know
got
more
your
about it.
number. I know how to reach you.
You have had my number for a very long time. So
Yes.
yes, you do.
So
What other
yeah.
questions are in the chat?
Chef Sue asked if I were to hire one person to help me for 2 days a week, and she put so that I can take on 2 clients for each of those 2
Mhm.
days. Would I only
Mhm.
calculate the total sales for those 2 days to calculate the percentage?
You calculate the sales. No. You calculate the sales and to get this percentage based upon the time that they were with you. So I understand what you're saying, and in your mind, you're thinking, well, they're not full-time, so, but everybody starts out with part-time. It's still a way to allow you to grow your business, and the first time that you will actually have staffing costs. You'll still need to keep up with that. Yeah, that answer your question, Sue?
I think so, yeah. So I only
Okay.
calculate the sales for those 2 days, the 2 days that they're with me.
Mm-mm. The whole time the person is with you. So the day one that you start having this employee, even if they come in twice a week, maybe you cook 4, I don't know. You still take the sales from that point on, divided by a staffing cost, whatever they cost you. It's going to be really low. It might be, 12% of your overall everything you brought in, but at least you know you're at 12% right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then
You're
Sue,
welcome.
since you're off mute, do you want to go ahead and ask your other question about charging travel fees?
Oh yeah, do you charge for cooking in home travel fees
Yes.
for personal chef?
Yes, we do. So since I have a commercial kitchen, everything gets delivered. However, we do have some clients occasionally where we will do semi-private, that sometimes they want us to deliver it, and then other times they may want us in their home to cook for whatever reason. And yes, I will, because I have to leave my kitchen. I have to start up my delivery vehicle. I have to throw all my crap in it, but now I just use their stuff. But still, it's an effort. You still have to remember those things. It's still wear and tear. Yeah. If I have to go to somebody's home, that's my gas. It's my effort. It's my money. Sure do. Okay.
Okay, so Brandon, I'm not sure what you were asking about the separate phone number and extra phone number. Would you unmute yourself and ask that question?
So with me opening up a meal delivery business out of a commercial kitchen with a new website, totally separate from my personal chef side of it, is it a good idea to add an extra phone number exclusive for that?
My first question is why is it different then? Why do you have 2 different websites?
Well, I'm rolling all my old websites into a new website
Oh,
for meal
so
delivery.
you're gonna have one website, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah. They're combining my old ones to the new one.
Okay, got it.
So-
Redirecting all the other stuff. Okay. So yes, as you grow a business, you will want to have your own personal cell that is not your business number. You can do that a multitude of ways. You can get a voice over IP. I've used RingCentral forever. I've tried to use other systems. They just didn't work as well. Or some people choose to start out and they get a separate cell phone with a separate cell phone number. That gets really hairy whenever now you have an admin and now he or she now has to take that phone home with them and then you have to try to get it back. I always recommend a voice over IP because I can download RingCentral on my personal cell phone. And if my admin doesn't pick it up, the kitchen manager doesn't pick it up, then thirdly, it rolls to me. And then I can see that it's a number for Saver and I can pick my cell phone up and answer differently. I can text through that app where it looks like it comes from the office phone. And I can also call out through that app where it looks like it's coming from the office phone.
Okay.
Cost you about $100 a month.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
Okay, that's all the questions that we have in the chat, but it might not be all the questions that we have here.
I know. Any other questions based upon what we talked about today? I'm not seeing any. And there's Janice. Janice, are you cold?
This is my, yeah. I always
You
got this
cold?
blanket on. I keep
I'm
my
not
house
trying to
on,
see.
I keep my house on frozen, okay?
Oh, I'm frozen.
Yes.
Okay. That's
My house is very, very cold, so I always have a blanket on. And everybody that comes, we offer them one because it's gonna be cold.
Is that because you have your own private summers that you have to kind of
I'm done with
work
that.
for?
I'm done with that. I just like it.
Okay, good. Good. I understand. And Jacob, are you in Canada? I don't know if Jacob can unmute himself.
Yes, I am.
That's what I thought. Where in
Did you
Canada
hear
are
me?
you? Yes.
In Hamilton area, Hamilton, like
Hamilton.
close to Niagara,
Okay.
if you know
Yeah.
that area.
I have a
Ontario.
few coaching clients in Canada, and they educate me about where stuff is. So it's interesting to hear
Oh, I
where
see.
it's interesting to hear where everybody's from. So okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I will see you all tomorrow here at the same time.
Deb, Gwen has one question before you sign off. She has a
Gwen,
pain in
I
the
thought
ass
you were
speed
way behind me.
question.
I was like, bye, Gwen.
I have one question I do before we go.
She
So
has a
you're-
PETA question.
Let's ask it.
So it occurred to me, we do a lot of private events, and our events manager spends a lot of time with certain clients, those ones who need extra zhuzhing. And as you're talking, I'm thinking, I'm just paying for her time. And so I'm wondering, what's a good protocol for this? Is the first consultation free, and then, or after the third, by the third one, am I charging you like $250 an hour or something?
Is this people that have booked or not booked with you?
Let's say the people who booked with us.
Okay. People that have booked with you on our catering invoices, there is already a 20% administration fee that gets added to all caterings for this very reason.
Okay.
It's a line item. They see it. We tell them it's there, and we tell them why.
Okay.
So so the catering is $3,000. They're automatically going to see a line item for 20% of that $3,000 that gets added on as a separate line item, and it literally says administration fee.
So when you and I talked about the equation for coming up with those sorts, is that part of that already? So I'm already doing that, is what you're saying?
It is not part of it. The 20% that I told you to add on to whatever you come up with catering is for things that were forgotten. Food costs that were increased because now crab is stupid expensive, or
Right.
The chicken got burned, or whatever. That's just for oops.
So this is an additional 20% fee, the PETA fee, right? We're not going to put
PETA
that in the
fee.
line item, of course, but yeah.
Admin. Probably wouldn't call it PETA fee, because diplomatically it's an admin fee. So
Okay, perfect.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's funny, if you will Google catering invoices, you'll actually, across the country, you'll actually end up seeing that on a lot of catering invoices.
Okay.
And if
Unfortunately,
you go, have you been out to eat in California lately?
not since February.
Okay. Well, they probably had it there, because I was surprised in California when they go out to eat, you have, your regular food, whatever it was. And then now they started adding like a government tax fee, an employee cost fee. And I'm like, holy crap, this is like double.
Good
I don't
times.
blame them. I don't blame them. Credit card fee is It's all there. So I know. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody? Oh, Emily said Jacob's still glad you're still able to come tomorrow. So, anybody have anything else before we go? Yes, sir, Brandon.
You had a fuel surcharge to delivery fees?
No, I don't, because I just make sure that my delivery fee, I don't make money on necessarily my delivery fees. I just make sure that they're always covered.
Okay.
So, and I raise or lower them depending upon what needs to happen
Okay, thank you.
with gas. You're welcome. So, some of you guys where gas is $6 a gallon, you probably want to charge more than what I'm charging. Our gas right now is probably around I don't know, Heather, $4.20, $4 something. I don't know. It is certainly not 6 something. I think I have a coaching client over in Miami, and her average delivery fee is between $40 and $60. So she actually uses a delivery company though also, but I think that's what she would charge. I would charge it if I were there. So anything else? Something pop in your brains? Nope. Brittany, what does your shirt say? Hot zombie?
Zombie.
I like it. I like it. Okay, everybody, we will see you tomorrow. Bring friends if you would like.
And Gwen,
Oh,
we'll miss
one
you
other thing.
tomorrow.
Yes. Wait, who are we missing? Gwen?
Tomorrow, Gwen will not be here.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gwen
we have
went
a
and did
rehearsal
wine
dinner
taste.
tomorrow night. I'm sorry. It's 5:30 on
Gwen
the
went
East
and did-
Coast and on a Friday. That's tough.
Gwen missed her mastermind call today because she was wine tasting in DC for her
Oh,
wine
no,
membership.
Starting a wine club, so I was meeting with
Yes.
a wine importer. So yeah, sorry, tough job.
And you didn't taste any wine today at all?
A little bit, maybe a little bit. We brought 12 bottles.
Yeah. And also, guys, yesterday I wanted to tell you too, whenever I said, hey, if you have questions, what email address, go ahead and send them straight to me, because Heather was so sweet to offer her email. She's got enough to do. She doesn't need to wade through all those emails. So if you guys have questions, just email deb@chefdeb.com. And if you can't remember that, I don't know what to say. So deb@chefdeb.com. So, and it's in the chat too, in case you guys need it. So, okay, we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.